Today we're at one of my favourite commercial venues, which is Makins. We're sat on Lake 4, and these lakes lend themselves perfect to a bit of method feeder fishing. For me, if I was going to any commercial, this would be my first choice. It's such a simple way of fishing. You can get away with minimum effort for maximum reward. So let's get her out there and see if we can catch one pretty quickly. There we go, first one on the method feeder. I love this style of fishing. All you got to do is make sure you can get your method feeder in the right location, and basically it does everything for you. So you just need a nice short commercial feeder rod that's got a lovely action just like this one, so you can really lean into the fish while you're playing them. The method feeder and the short hook length and the little bright hook bait will do all the rest for you. It's a really cool way of fishing and a very simple way of fishing. What we'd do is we'd get this one in. The bite was that quick, I didn't even get my next feeder ready. So I'll talk you through top to bottom of the gear you need to go and do a bit of method feeder fishing on your local commercial. There you go, look at that, a typical Makins carp. These have been in here a long time. I've seen a few hooks unfortunately, but they're great fish and they're great fun. Beautiful little fish and give a right good scrap. So what I'm going to do is put this one back and I'll talk you through the tackle so you can catch the same. Right, so the hardware for this style of fishing. I mean, this is a decent sized lake here at Makins, but I'm just using a 10-foot 2-piece feeder rod. It's a commercial feeder rod. It's got a 1.5 ounce carbon tip. It's a very slim but powerful blank. It's perfect for this sort of fishing. It allows you to cast at the distance you need, but also you have great fun whilst playing the fish. The reel is a 4,000 size reel. Just got a good drag on it and a good winding power. And then on the reel itself, I've got 8-pound Pulse Pro, which is a really durable feeder line. This is perfect for any sort of style of feeder fishing, but for method feeder fishing, it works really well. It's very low diameter for its breaking strain, so it casts nice and true, yet it's nice and robust, because these fish do fight hard. And then down to the end, this is where the magic happens. All you have to do to set up a method feeder setup with an elasticated method is pop a loop in your line. Then this is the X-Safe tail rubber from the Guru method feeders that just slides on the line, and then the feeder itself has a small little hook up which you just put the loop through, and then you just pull the tail rubber down and everything's in place. Then that's everything you need to get going. And the nice thing about these feeders is you've got the elastic running in there nice and safely, but if you do get an accident and the fish gets snagged, it can pull the elastic out and the feeder will drop off, so you're fishing in pure safety. So it's a good way for the fish. And another thing I like as well, with the shock absorberness, with the elastic, it just allows those beginners to get away with murder a little bit. It would just keep the hook held perfect every time. Going down to the hook length, I've got a 4-inch hook length, which is very important for this style of fishing. If you're new to it, there's lots of ready rigs on the market which are perfect, and they've literally got everything you need just to clip on and get going. This one itself's got a small bayonet on the end. So basically I'm using wafters or small pellets today, and I can literally just push the bayonet straight into the bait, and that's on the bottom of the hook, and that's literally ready to go. When you're doing this style of fishing, when you're fishing baits like wafters, piece of meat, bit of corn, or whatever you've chosen, it's always better to hair rig it. Having the hook totally free within the feeder just allows a proper bite. Putting a bait on the hook, you could miss odd bites if the hook gets masked. So this is the easiest way to do it, and for me, the simplest. So that's the rig, very, very simple. For this style of fishing as well, you can get these method feeders in lots of different weights. For me, around 20 to 30 gram is the optimal for these sort of venues. This lake starts off quite shallow, 2 or 3 foot in the margins, and then deepens off to about 8 or 9. But this style of fishing, this time of year as it's getting warm, you want to be in those shallower areas. So you're not looking for a big heavy feeder to get to the bottom of a deep lake. You're fishing in the margins, or you're fishing tight to features like the island over there. Now the important bit, loading the feeder. This is very, very important, and a few simple steps will allow you to get maximum output of using a method feeder. What I like to do is firstly fill the mould 3/4 with the 2mm pellets. We're just fishing pellets on the feeder today, nothing else. Spring is here, you can't get a better feed bait than 2mm coarse pellets. These are the Mainline cell and activated ones mixed together. They're nice and soft now and they stick around the feeder perfectly. If you want to see how to prepare and do these pellets, just click onto this little link here and it will show you everything you need to know about prepping pellets. So 3/4 of the feeder full in the mould. Get your feeder, and what we call this is the first layer. So we can put this one on as hard as anything. People really underestimate how quickly these pellets come off a feeder. So I'll give them a good squeeze, and on the back of the method you can either press to release, or you can put the feeder in and you can squeeze the sides and it would just break the seal and it would drop off in your hand. So there's your first layer. That's the layer that's going to be doing the work out there once the rest of the feeds broke down. Then what we're going to do is we're going to half fill it, so just half or just under, and then the important thing is where you put your hook bait. So we're going to put the hook bait in the widest, most central part of the feeder. Easy for me to see. So there you go. It's in the middle of the feeder there, and as you can see I'm keeping the line all out the feeder. So all you've got is the hook and the hook bait in the widest part, central of the feeder. And then we're going to fold the feeder back over and give it another press. Again, don't be scared of pressing tight. You're going to be casting a fair distance, and also this feeder's got to get to the bottom all intact. So don't be frightened about pressing the feeder. Give it a little squeeze again and it should just fall out in your hand. So there we go, we've got the perfect parcel of bait there. The line's folded round, it's not going to interfere with the feeder in any way, and what will happen is the top layer will break down very quickly, showing your hook bait, and hopefully a passing fish will pick that up and you'll be in straight away. The bolt effect happens when this little piece of line, which is only 4 inches, stretches out and bolts against the weight of the feeder. So that's your hooking. You haven't got to strike or nothing. Just keep an eye on that quiver tip, and as soon as you get either a pull round or a drop back, that fish is definitely on. Let's try and catch another. How good fun is this? Dead simple. The next thing which is really important to me at this style of fishing, and it all depends on the time of year, is the location of where you're going to put that feeder. And for me it's really simple. It's warming up, I want some shallower water where the fish are going to feed. So we've got an island over there which makes perfect sense. There's going to be fish patrolling around that. It's got a nice steady shelf, so it comes up into shallower water. Those fish are going to find free food and obviously the warmth of the shallower water over there. So it's a perfect place to start. And also, as the session goes on, there's no better place on a commercial than down the edge. So I'll be feeding a few small nuggets of the micros that I'm fishing with down by this little feature beside me, and hopefully later on we won't even have to cast out there. We'll be underarming by this tree for some sensational bites. The bites are coming quick now. One thing that makes a huge difference when doing this style of fishing is accuracy, and it just comes with practice. Today I'm fishing against the island. For a beginner it's not an easy thing to do, but I'm taking advantage of the line clip on the reel. I'm finding my distance, hitting the clip up in the air and letting the rod follow it in, and I'm just fishing just away from the island, just in a depth of water where I think the fish are, probably about 3 foot. And I'm being really accurate now, and all that does is gets you quicker and quicker bites. But we've got some fun to happen shortly, where we're going to come in the margins. Lots and lots of commercial fisheries do well in the afternoons in the margins. So by just getting a bit of your bait, finding a feature, popping like the size of a method feeder ball of bait down the side, you can feed that a couple of times while you're doing other things. And then in the last hour before you go home, or for a bit of fun, drop the old feeder down the side, which I'll show you shortly, which is really good fun. You just have to make sure you hold on tight. So there it is, everything's nice and controlled. We take our time. As you can see, these short commercial rods, just great fun. Bend from top to bottom. And there we go, another one in the net. Well, there you go, look at that, slightly different fish. This is an F1, good size one as well, look at that. I was caught on a little pink wafter. I've got a few different coloured hook baits with me today, and I think it's time to talk you through them. Hook bait choice today, I've literally just brought an array of wafters, and to be perfectly honest, it's because I'm testing some new ones, but we've got a lovely selection of just small little flavoured wafters. These are such a great bait, and they're so idiot proof to use on a venue like this. We've got some little 6mm in lots of different colours. These are just soft enough to push the bayonet into, so you can literally, you don't even have to fight with them to get them on the hook. Then we've got some really tiny little 3 to 5mm ones here, which we're just testing today, just ready for a winter project when we bring them out for Mainline later on in the year. Got some duos as well, some different colour ones. But the main thing about wafters is it's a very bright bait that gets picked out of a parcel of bait that you'll cast into a feature or cast into a consistent area. Again, there's the bayonet. Today, pink or orange has been the best in slightly bigger bait, so a 5 or 6mm. Literally just pushing that bait in. There you go, just a little 6mm, just pushing that bait in. Nice little orange one there, just push the bayonet in, and that just sits perfectly off the bottom of the hook. One thing I do like to try is, because wafters can be all different, is just have a little tub of water next to you. And these are what's called wafters. So what you want them to do is you want the hook to sink, but the wafter just to sit up off the bottom. It's like it's waving at the fish going, eat me, eat me. But that's your perfect presentation. So before every cast, it's always worth trying that, because drying out, the sun, the conditions can change how these perform in the water. So just give them a little test. They've been brilliant today, they're working perfectly. But changing colours, just trying a few different things can always get you a few bites. But today, pink or orange has been the way forward. Well, that's been great fun. We've caught all kinds over there. F1s, carp, the bites have been fantastic. Great fun. Probably nearly time to go, but before we go, you've got to have that one last cast. So we're going to have a little look down the edge, see if we can get one of those big fish that come in late on in a session. Can't even see it with the sun. She is. Save the biggest for last. There we go, she's in. Last few goes of the day. As you can see, I've just moved my rod rest. When I'm fishing down the edge like this, I like a real slack line, so I don't want the line bowing through the margin, so I'm leaving it really slack. but the bites can be that vicious. I like the rod to be on my lap. So I've just adjusted my rod rest, brought it up a little bit, and I've literally, oh, little inquiry there, got no tension at all on the tip. So the tip's completely straight and I'm watching the line. I'm just keeping that line nice and slack. And I'm quite happy to release a little bit of line just as the line's sinking through the swim. The more we can hide the line, the better. But if we get a bite down here, it could be carnage. On commercial fisheries where they get fished a lot, fish tend to know when people are going home and they've chucked their bait down the margins. They come in late on in the session, so this is the perfect time. And so many times I've been fishing like this and caught my biggest fish of the day literally under my feet. Well, that bite didn't disappoint. I made sure my clutch was nice and loose, but just had hold of my rod so I can control the fish. It just swam out the swim. And yeah, literally the bite was a 4-foot twitch. It's such good fun. And this one's scrapping well, so let's hope it is a slightly bigger fish than we've caught during today. It's going well. Just take your time, everything's set. No rush, just enjoy it. Giving a good fight. Yes, there we go. There's definitely bigger in here, but that's a nice fish to finish on. It's always worth having that one last cast. Let's hold her up for you. Oh, it's a good fish. Well, there we go. What a fish to finish on. Bigger than I thought it was, to be fair. Great fish for down the edge and great fun that last cast. We've let the method feeder do all the hard work and we've had all the fun. So there you go. Brilliant day's method feeder fishing on a commercial. This one wants to fight again. I'm going to get her back. Time to pack up.